In this video, I'm going to cover the definitive guide to cold email in 2023 and how we book 20 plus meetings per week for our clients in our own agency with cold email. And I'm going to show you how you can too. So my name is Christian. I'm the co-founder at RevGrowth.ai. We partner with B2B businesses and agencies to scale with cold email. We build outbound infrastructures for these businesses and we manage it completely done for you. So here's a few case studies I want to show you guys that, what I'm actually about to talk about in this video really works. So for this UGC agency, we book 20 plus meetings per month, help them scale past 100K MRR. Another TikTok agency, help them book 15 plus meetings per month at 10K MRR, 5 to 10 meetings per month for this email marketing agency. And then we helped this agency go from 0 to 7K in 27 days. So what I'm actually going to talk about in this video, it really works. So get out a note and pen and start taking notes. So I'm just going to raw dog this video and just spit value for you guys on cold email. So strap in. So the cold email strategy consists of 5 main factors. We got front-end email sending, we got deliverability, we got list building, we got script writing, and we got inbox management. And if you don't have all 5 of these pieces in place, then the entire system is going to fall apart. You can't just have 4 in place. You can't just have, send a ton of volume, have good lists, have good script writing. But if your deliverability is shit, it's all going to fall apart and you're going to get no meetings. So everything has to be in place. So I'm going to cover every single step and show you how to optimize it to the fullest of your ability so you can start ripping meetings. So let's just dive into it. Front email sending. So volume negates luck. A lot of people come to me saying, hey man, I'm really struggling to book meetings. And the first question I always ask them is, how many emails are you sending per day? And most of these guys are like, oh, well, we're sending, 50 to 100 meetings or 100 emails per day. And I'm like, okay. Like with us, we're sending 1,000 to 1,200 emails per day. And these are personalized emails as well. So it's like, you're sending 50 emails per day and getting no meetings. It's because you're just not sending enough emails. You need to ram more volume. It's really that simple. More emails equals more meetings. It's that simple. And even if you are getting meetings, right? Let's say you're booking 5 meetings per month and you're sending like 200 emails per day. 5x that. Send 1,000 emails per day. Now you just 5x your meeting flow. Now you're booking 25 meetings per month. It's literally that simple. It's that simple. It's going to take more work, but it really is that simple. Just send more emails. But so what I do for us and our clients, I'm actually looking to up this, but so we buy 20 domains and we set up 40 email accounts, which allows us to send about 1,200 emails per day, and that's about 26,000 emails per month. And we typically try to do 7,500 new contacts per month. And again, volume negates luck. It's like if you're sending this many emails, it's hard to not book meetings. It's like you're going to book meetings no matter what. And that's the whole point, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're targeting hard niches, just sending that much volume, you're going to book meetings. So yeah, we're actually trying to manufacture luck here in a way. And for the setup, the actual tech side of things, we get Google or GoDaddy domains. Then we use only Google Workspace for our email accounts. We used to do a sort of diversification between Zoho and Outlook, but Zoho recently just had some huge bandwave go through, so I guess Zoho's chalked. So yeah, we're just sticking to Google. We noticed that Google has the best deliverability out of the 3. And then we use SmartLead for email warming and sending. And if you're not using SmartLead in 2023, I don't know what you're doing. SmartLead is by far the best software, and I'm not even affiliated with them. Just go to smartlead.ai.com, and whatever sending platform you're using currently, switch off that and go to SmartLead. So that's all I'm going to say. And deliverability, the actual deliverability side of things, this is very, very important. Because you can be sending 1,000 emails per day. Something I've noticed, actually, this is a funny thing. So a lot of these really big agencies that come to us asking for, helping with lead gen or whatever, a lot of these people are just absolutely destroying their deliverability. They don't do warm up. They send 200 emails from one inbox. So though deliverability is quite simple, it doesn't take any skill or anything. It's something that a lot of people get wrong. So I'm going to cover every single little thing that you can do to maximize deliverability here. But yeah, it's a very overlooked part of email. A lot of people just think you can just send as many emails as you want, and it's just simply not true. Because if you're landing in spam, like it doesn't matter how good your emails are, doesn't matter how good the list you're building is, no one's gonna even see your email. So first part of deliverability is, or maxing deliverability is, warm up. So you do set up 14 days warm up. You set it up in Smart Lead. Throw your email accounts in there. Don't send any cold emails, and just enable the warm up feature inside of Smart Lead, or I mean whatever other sending software you're using. Go to Smart Lead. I highly recommend it, and let it run for 14 days. 14 days is the minimum, and then you want to keep letting it run over time. Um, then once your warm up is done, then we can start sending cold emails. And what we want to do is ramp up, because the thing is, we don't want to just send. We don't want to go from 0 cold emails to just 30 cold emails, which is actually we want to send per day for cold emails. So week one, we're gonna start off with like 5 to 10 cold emails per account. And kind of vary. I think we do like I push 10. It's fine. In the week two, it's like 15 to 20 cold emails per account. In the week three, you do 25 to 30 cold emails per account per day, right? So if you have 40 email accounts, you're sending 30 cold emails. That's 1,200 cold emails per day. And once you get to this 30 cold emails per day count, you actually want to decrease. Make sure your warm email sending is at around 20 warm emails being sent per day, because you don't want to go above 50 emails being sent per inbox per day. So yeah, make sure to limit your warm email sending while you start ramping up your cold email sending. But again, yeah, you want to cap out at 30 cold emails per day. I think anything above that usually risks hurting deliverability. Next part of deliverability is bounce rate. So this is another very important thing that people overlook. A lot of people will just get their Apollo account, just scrape their leads, and just throw it into whatever sending software they use. We actually need to verify your leads, right? You can't just send emails, which I'm going to cover that a little bit later, verification, all that stuff. But yeah, if you're sending emails that are unverified, or you're sending emails to unverified email accounts, your bounce rate's going to be super high, and that's going to severely hurt deliverability. So you want to typically keep your deliverability below 3%. If it's under 3%, you're chilling. But if it's above that, you want to make sure you're cleaning your list, you're double cleaning them, doing whatever you need to do that. And yeah, quick side note, another part of deliverability that is another thing that people very much overlook, no one really talks about this actually, is when you're actually setting up and buying your secondary domains, you want to make sure you're not using things like there is a wrong way to set up and buy secondary domains. So what you want to do is make sure that you're only using .com domains. You're not using .net, .org. You can use .co. I believe that's fine as well, but I typically just use .com domains. And you also don't add numbers. Numbers can hurt deliverability, and they don't add any hyphens. So here's some examples of good ones. So you can just do like goagency.com, agencynow.com, weareagency.com. You also don't want to make your secondary domain name too long. You don't want it to be like 30 letters long. So try to keep it as short as possible. So yeah, make sure to buy the proper domains, because I know it's easy to be cheap, because on GoDaddy they'll give you like the option for those packages and stuff like that, where you can buy like 5 domains for like $20, but it's gonna be like .net, .info. You don't want those. Don't be cheap. Make sure to just buy the .com domains. So yeah, and the next part is going to be spin tags. And basically, what spin text is it's a text alternator sort of thing. I'll give you some examples here. And what this does, the reason why we're going to use this is because if the spam filters will see if you're sending 1,000 emails per day and you're sending the same exact email over and over and over again, the spam filter is going to see that, and they're going to be okay, this guy's obviously spamming emails, right? So he's going to spam. So what you want to do is you want to use spin tags, and majority of email sending softwares enable spin tags. I know Smartly does, so just use Smartly. But basically what it does, as you can see here, within the brackets, you can see multiple versions of basically saying the same thing. So it's like, hey, hi, hello, good day, first name. and then noticed slash saw, then thought, wanted, all that kind of stuff, and then it's just a lot of switching of wording. Like you're saying the same thing just with slightly different words. Um, that's essentially what I do, and then you can do it with the signature. And this is something I got from Nick Abraham. So shout out to Nick Abraham. Is you can add a quote at the bottom, and you can have that as a spin tag sort of thing, which will help show that like there's a ton of different words in every single email you're sending, which is going to help with deliverability. So quick breakdown of everything again. So warm up email accounts for 14 days, ramp up email accounts after warm up, keep bounce rate low, only use .com secondary domains and like the other rules I was talking about, and always use spin tags in your emails that you're sending. And if you execute these 5 practices, you should have perfect deliverability, unless you just, I don't know, just if you do all 5 of these, your deliverability will be good. So on to list building. Let me take a sip. So lead lists are the fuel to your email campaigns. So obviously, if you're driving a car, if you have shitty fuel, you're earning a shitty mileage. So shitty lead list equals shitty campaign results. If you send amazing emails, you can write the perfect copy, right? But if you're not sending it to the right people, you're going to be booking meetings with people you don't even want to talk to. And what's the point of that? The whole point of cold email to book meetings is to close more clients, right? So you want to actually be talking to the people you want to be talking to, the actual clients. You don't want to be reaching out to some Etsy mother. If you're trying to sell some $10,000 program, you're not going to reach out to some 40-year-old mother running an Etsy store, right? Like, I mean, unless she's just ripping Etsy, then it works. But yeah, you want to be actually contacting the right people. Say you sell TikTok ads and your offer is $10,000 per month. You probably want to be reaching out to e-com brands that are doing at least 100K per month. So let's just dive into it. I have a example here. Yeah, so let's say you're building a list for e-commerce brands, and oh yeah, and I didn't even mention this. So another thing with building lists is you don't want to just, so you can build a list of all the qualified prospects, right? The thing is you want to actually be able to segment these lists. And why we segment it is because you can actually write the copy around the segmented list. And what I mean by a segmented list is that you choose a specific niche of companies and a specific technology that they use, specific location, maybe a specific revenue range / employee size. All these things can be variables that can be mentioned within the copy, and you can make the copy more relevant around that. So, if you're reaching out to e-com brands and you said, noticed you run an e-com brand, like no shit, bro. It's so basic, not personalized, and they're not going to like you. So, yeah, there's obviously tens of millions of e-com brands out there. This could have been sent to anyone. So how can we write more personalized copy is, by building the segmented list. So, it'd obviously be a lot more targeted and personalized if we target beauty brands with TikTok Pixel, right? This would be super relevant if you have a TikTok offer. So, especially if you have a beauty brands case study, right? You're reaching out to these beauty brands, you have experience getting good results for beauty brands, and you offer TikTok, which is something that they're obviously using, right? Very specific. So now we can write very personalized copy around this. Came across your brand on TikTok while looking for beauty products. Simple enough. Obviously, you can go further personalization, but take heed. All of these things are just examples in this doc. So don't just copy and paste them. They probably won't work if you do that. I mean, well, this one might work actually. Anyways, let's just dive into it. So find your ICP companies. So first, we have to actually find the companies that you want, and so a lot of this doc is going to be kind of like a guide. So if you want this doc for yourself, I'll put it in the description, and you can check it out for yourself. You can always reference back to it if you're, working on your cold email setup and you need help. But I'll try to cover this real briefly. A few databases you can use to find the people you want to target. So Clutch.co, they're good for agencies like marketing agencies. BrandNav / store leads, good for ecom brands. Seamless.ai is good for SaaS. I don't personally work with any SaaS. Herd's very expensive. Crunchbase is good, and SalesNav that's where most of these bases or these databases get their data from anyways, is sales nav. So sales nav is always good. I wouldn't say it's good for targeting e-com brands, but other niches, other B2B niches, sales nav is good. So this an example, we'll use brand nav for finding women's apparel e-commerce brands. And we'll start with the filtering the companies first. So you go to your chosen database, and there's typically four main filters every database has, which is going to be department/industry, employee count, technologies, and location. And these are going to be the four main sort of. Anything more specific than this is like you're not going to have a big enough lead pool size if you go specific on that. But these four main filters are going to be good enough for building this targeted list. So, yeah. So we're doing women's apparel. Obviously, we go to the niche and choose women's apparel. Pretty self-explanatory. Then company count. Here's sort of the how do you say it? I'm just one shot in this video. I don't even care. This is kind of the rules I go by when it comes towards employee count. So 1 to 10 employees, they're probably broke. Don't talk to them. 11 to 20 employees, they're gonna be at like 30K to 100K per month. 21 to 50 employees, they're gonna be at 100K to 1 million per month, and then 51 plus employees, they're gonna be pretty big. And then and there's like $10,000 plus employees. Like I wouldn't even really bother reaching out to them unless if you're like reaching out to a very specific person within their company. So I never include the brokies when I build these lists. At least 10 employees. So technologies. So in this example, we're reaching out to these beauty brands with a email marketing offer. So most of these agencies, they use Klaviyo, right? So we want to choose Klaviyo as a technology. Self-explanatory. And the location, I always just do English-speaking countries, unless if you're from a specific country, like if you're from Germany and you want to specifically work with German brands, then go ahead. But if you're an English-speaking company, then you want to just go with United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and then you can even throw in New Zealand. But yeah, another thing I've noticed with a lot of these agencies is that there'll be an English-speaking agency. I'm talking about Legion agencies here, but they'll build lists with companies from China and India, right? And they're contacting these foreign companies, and it's like they're booking calls with people that can barely even speak English. And I'm just like, what? It's stupid. It's pointless. Because remember, at the end of the day, we're trying to close the person. We're not trying to just book a call. Like booking calls is great, it feels good, but you actually want to close the call. You know what I'm saying? You actually want to like make money. You don't want to just book a call. So now that we have the companies list built with the proper filters, we can export. And then what I use is Apollo for finding the decision makers. So I just use Apollo. I know everyone uses Apollo, and a big sort of argument or objection I get quite often is like, oh, well, don't you use Apollo? Like, isn't everyone contacting these Apollo leads or whatever? And the thing is, yes, you're right. Like everyone's contacting these Apollo leads. But the thing is, the reason why I book meetings is because when I build these lists, they're segmented, and I write very good or very personalized and relevant copy around these lists we build. So though these people are getting spammed with thousands of emails per day, my email stands out in their inbox because it's extremely relevant. Because I did proper segmenting, I excluded any unqualified companies, and the people I work with, they all have great case studies and they're relevant to the niche that we're targeting. So the whole saturation argument saying like, oh, cold email doesn't work because it's too saturated. It's a myth, it's a lie. It's just because you suck at cold email. That's it. There is some niches where it is tough, like Facebook ads, I won't lie. That is tough. Like good luck with cold email on that. But cold email still works for 99.9% of offers. So yeah, it's not saturation's fault, it's probably your fault. So we import it to Apollo. I'm not going to cover the exact step-by-step here. You can do that. You can check out this doc in the description below to check out the exact step-by-step guide I do here. This is basically like a course. I could have sold this for like $100 or something, but I'm not trying to be a guru. So at this point, we want to do something. This is very important. Is actually doing exclusion filters, because the thing is, we can export all these companies from these databases, but they will give us a lot of unqualified and just random leads that are not the people we're trying to target. So when we import this into Apollo, we're going to do exclusion keywords. This is the best way I found to filter out these people. And in this case, we're doing e-com brands, right? We obviously want to get rid of marketing, sales, agencies, services, wholesale, medical, information technology, college, university, media. Like, yeah, sometimes I'll get colleges and universities, and it makes no sense. But so you want to make sure those are the common ones that I typically do for most of them. Depending on how specific the niche is, you might have to do more. But most cases, this is all you need to do. But yeah, make sure to do this, or else you're going to be contacting a bunch of randos. So definitely do that. Yeah, and again, it sort of depends on which niche you're targeting. If you're targeting a really specific niche, that's typically when, like, let's say we're targeting like bike brands. That was one I did recently that does really well. You get a lot of very random, um, unqualified, unsegmented leads getting in the list. So yeah, just depending on how specific it is, you want to do the proper exclusion filters. Anyways, now then we can find the people. We have the list built. These are typically the people that I target. I don't do partner. I don't know why that one's checked off. But owner, founder, C-suite, VP, head, and director. And then for the departments and job function, we do C-suite. I don't know. We don't do design typically. Marketing and sales. It's not showing sales here for some reason. And then in the human resources tab, we do, it's like organizational development, talent recruitment, which is like, it's a pretty obvious one. And I think those are like the two main ones. But yeah, then so once you do that, you'll have your list of leads, and then you can export. So at the time when I wrote this, I was using FindEmail, but I actually don't use FindEmail anymore, because there's been a recent update to Apollo that made FindEmail really slow. So it was taking way too long. So I actually used this guy who has a custom Apollo scraper. So if you're interested in that, DM me and I can send them your way. But yeah, if not, if you, in this case, you can just use FindEmail. I mean, FindEmail still works, but it's just slow. And the good thing about FindEmail is that when it scrapes the Apollo list, it will give you only verified leads, that was my favorite part about FindEmail. But if not, if you have to manually go through and export each page one by one, which sucks, I'd recommend hiring a VA for that if you have the money. If not, if you're just starting out, then you're going to have to just turn on some music and just start pounding out exports. But once you do that, obviously all the leads are not verified yet. So you need to go to some verifying software like millionverifier.com and verify the list. And then once you have it verified, you also want to clean the list. I don't have this here, but you want to make sure that the company names are all good. I'll probably create a separate video on how I'm using AI to clean lists and do email personalization, things like that. But yeah, by that point, you have a verified lead list. It's segmented. You have the actual decision makers you want to talk to, and you can plug in your list to the campaign. But now we have to actually talk about script writing. So the moneymaker, right? This is what everyone wants to know: is how, like, oh, what's the script, bro? What's the script? What's the script? That's like the biggest question all the time. Like, dude, my scripts don't work, brother. This is a skill, right? This is a form of copywriting. It's a very weird. Cold email copywriting is not like any other sort of copywriting. It's a very unique form of copywriting, because it's like my homie Matt. I don't remember his @ on Twitter, but I remember one thing he said that cold email copywriting is sort of like you want to write your cold emails as if you're drunk texting with one hand. It's really weird. It makes no sense. But the thing is, you want to seem as human as possible. That's the whole point. It's like you just want to be a human. You want the prospect to believe that. Obviously, you want it to be relevant. You want to actually have a good offer, but you also want the prospect to be like, okay, this person is like kind of like my friend. You know what I'm saying? This person just reaching out. It's not some automated software sending out 1,000 emails per day. They want to believe that you found them and you sent them this one email because you genuinely want to work with them, right? So, anyways, let's just dive into this. No, sorry, pretty long video. It's gonna be a long one. I want to make this as in depth as possible. So we break this down into 3 phases, right? So understanding your ICP, creating a relevant offer, and then have a few frameworks that I'll show you that have been proven and work for me that I use. So let's dive into it. So understanding your ICP, right? In this example, we're gonna. Oh wait, yeah, never mind. So you actually have to know you actually have to know who you're targeting to, right? Um, is it a CMO with 25 plus employee clothing brand, or is it chiropractors with less than five employees, or is it a CEO at a 100 plus employee IT company? Each of these people is going to have their own sort of persona, things that are relevant to them, relevant pain points, desires, things like that. So you want to keep this in account when writing your emails. Um, yeah, like if you think you're going to get the same, you're going to write the same email to a chiropractor as you would to a Fortune 500 CEO. It's like, no, you're not. So what we need to do is write out the customer profile, right? So to understand our ICP, we need to think about the niche. We need to think about the title, the employee count, and the sort of jargon that is used within the niche, right? Because all these niches have their own sort of vocabulary that they use on a daily basis. So this example is the example I was talking about. We'll talk about CMO at a 25 plus employee clothing brand. So niche is clothing and apparel, title CMO, head of marketing, whatever. Employee count 25 plus, and then jargon is like ROAS, CPAs, AOV. These are things that they're thinking about to, maximize their margins and profitability for their ecom brand, right? Because a lot of ecom brands, they could be making 100K per month, but like the employees basically, or the CEO is basically poor because his margins are like 3%. So these are things they care about and pain points that they have, right? So yeah, we'll keep this in mind when writing our coffee. So we need to dive into the actual offer creation with the ICP in mind. So creating a relevant offer. Yeah, so if we want a prospect to hop on a meeting with us, we have to actually offer a relevant solution to their specific situation or whatever pain points they're having. So, offering just email marketing isn't enough. How is email marketing actually going to help them, right? So, it's going to you can scale without having to increase ad spend. Increase attributed email revenue because a lot of these agencies or these brands have like a 10% attributed email revenue. Increase customer retention, increase AOV with unique flows, cut customer churn rate, things like that. And now that you have a list of what actually does, we can write some copy around it, right? So again, these are examples. I kind of wrote this doc a while ago, so these could definitely be better. But a few examples you can just take into mind. So we'll increase your customer retention by X% through unique Klaviyo flows or campaigns. Or we'll cut ad spend while doubling revenue in 9 days through email retention systems. We'll add X% AOV within 3 months or we'll pay you. Just a few examples. I wouldn't recommend using these. These are also kind of asked, but they're examples, right? Yeah, but all these things, I mean, they're still valuable to these ecom brands, right? They're all good offers in a way. Yeah, so here's an example of what we can use for with the last example in mind. So we work with clothing brands to increase attributed email rev by 30% in 60 days with our pure commission email systems. I actually used to use a similar offer for an email marketing client, and this pure commissions email system angle actually really works well. So it's the email marketing agency that's a tad bit of sauce that works well for or cold email. But yeah, so notice it's a lot more tailored to the CMO of the clothing brand, right? Because we're talking about clothing brands, we're talking about email. We're saying specifically email revenue, right? We're not just saying like, oh, we'll help boost your revenue. I notice a lot of people say like keep it very broad. It's like you want to be specific, you want to be relevant. You want to hit the, get in there, get in the specifics. But yeah, so let's just Yeah, and also we want zero fluff when we're writing these emails. We don't want a single line that's just useless. And that's another big mistake I've noticed with a lot of people when they write their cold emails. They'll write lines that are just completely irrelevant. They'll write a line saying like, "Hey, like I love your dog" or something. Like I don't know. It's something very it's just stupid or something like I'm trying to think of something stupid. Like I've seen some really dumb emails. Oh, a lot. I know one line that a lot of people say is something like, "Hey, I don't mean to take too much of your time." It's like, dude, just get to the point. Like they know you're taking your time. They have the time to see it. It's like not a lot of people have this misconception that these people don't have 30 seconds to read an email. It's like, yeah, they do. They do. Just get to the point. It's whatever. But anyway, so here's some cold email frameworks that I've worked with or worked very well for me. Um, I have some more, but these are the seven main ones. So we got intro, offer, case study, CTA. And when I write these, I mean, it's like, it's a 4 line thing. So, intro, then the second line is offer, third line is case study, and then the fourth line is CTA. You can even sort of blend it up so where it's like intro, offer, case study, and have a CTA in the same line. You can do offer, case study, then CTA. It's the third line. You can mix it up. Try out whatever you want, bro. A lot about cold email is just being different, honestly. Keep the same fundamentals in mind, but just be different. I've used some really weird scripts, and just because of the fact that they're different, still using the same fundamentals. Obviously, you have to have a good offer. You can even, I mean, I was going to say a CTA is, you have to have a CTA, but honestly, you can. There's some people having success without even adding a CTA because it's just different. So yeah, try out new things, be different, do whatever. There's also intro, case study, value CTA, and what I mean by value CTA is you're offering a sales asset, which I'm going to create a video just on sales assets because I think the future of cold email is going to be leveraging sales assets for your campaigns rather than just asking, hey, you want to hop on a quick 15-minute meeting, or hey, you want some more information. Offering an actual something tangible, right? So something that's working for us is I have this document, right? I have an even longer one actually that covers other parts of our process, but maybe I'll make a video on that sometime soon. But it's like an 80-page document covering our entire strategy, right? So what we do is we come with the intro. We're like, hey, great case studies on your website, something pretty basic because we're targeting agencies. We recently helped an agency just like yours add 30K MRR in 90 days with our outbound infrastructures. Mind if I send you an 80-page document covering the exact strategy we used to do that? It's like, why not? Why not see it? And they're going to read the document. They'll be like, wow, this is exactly what I need because our cold email sucks and our outbound sucks. And we're spending thousands of dollars in paid ads and getting 5 meetings. So, and then it's easy conversion. They just book them themselves, right? Because they read the doc. Obviously, not everyone reads the full doc because it's a long doc. But that's just an example. You can come with your own sort of value point, but I highly recommend going with the value CTA. Another one, intro, pain points, solution. So it's like, this is a really good email that we're using for email marketing clients. So it's like, hey, name, love your ecom brand, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, we don't say that. Noticed a few mistakes in your welcome flow that are hurting placed order value by 37%. Create a short video for you covering these mistakes. Mind if I send it to you? And everyone says yes because it's like, why not? Because they have a pain point. It's like, we're saying something is wrong with your system. They're going to want to fix it, right? Like, who would not want to fix it? So they have to say yes, and they send the video, they watch the video, and then, then people are going to call from there. Intro, but I'm going to keep this I'm going to go a little faster. So intro, value CTA. This is a weird one. So it's like, I'm not going to cover all of these, honestly. If you let me know in the comments below if you guys want a full video just covering actual real examples of cold emails I'm using for my clients currently. And I'll do like a personal breakdown of like exactly why they work, things like that. Because I have some super saucy, I could share some absolute sauce on cold email scripts that are working for us. But anyway, so yeah, again, this document's in the description. You can check it out after the video. But let's just get through it. You know, 5 main pieces of cold, that creates a good cold email is intro, offer, pain point, case study, CTA. You need at least 3 of these, I would say, in every email that you write. You could bend the rules a little bit further. You could go with like just 2, but it's like the 5 main pieces. So piece 1, intro. You know, the whole point of the intro is to show that you've done some research. You actually are not just a fully automated email, even though you are a fully automated email. Build a little bit of rapport, stroke their ego a little bit. Just be like, oh, I really love your clothes or whatever. And it shows that you're not another spammer. And a lot of people overcomplicate this. They go too far. They say some heinous things that should not be said, and go a little bit too personal. So yeah, there's a few things you can do. You can get VAs to manually write personalized lines. What we use is AI because AI is obviously the big thing now. We're literally called RevGrowth.ai. Or you can do general personalization just because your lists are segmented, right? So if we're talking clothing brands, we say like, "Hey, loved your recent apparel ad," or "Loved your recent drop," something like that. I mean, that's kind of rough, but you could do that if you're not able to do AI lines or have a VA. It's better than nothing. But yeah. So for the example with the CMO, as a general personalized line, "Hey John, loved your recent apparel ad. Want to reach out." So this will be, we have to make sure that they're actually running ads. So make sure they have some sort of pixel platform downloaded, and obviously that they're a clothing brand, and then we could say that'd be relevant. But it's to the point, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't need to be too long. Just like keep it short. And yeah, just don't copy it. Like actually use your brain, bro. Pretty simple. Piece 2, offer. We want to mention 3 things here, right? So final result, time frame, unique mechanism, and guarantee, which is optional. Because if you have a really good, offer. Well, I mean, every really good offer usually has some sort of guarantee. Anyways, but you can just think of like the Hormozy equation. Everyone talks about this. It's like the most basic thing ever. I'm even looking to sort of bend this equation because the thing is, literally everyone uses it. So you don't want to just copy and paste this framework, or else you're gonna look like everyone else, right? Because you don't want to look like everyone else. If you look like everyone else, you become commoditized, and the moment you're commoditized, then you're fighting for prices at the bottom. So you want to actually stand out and be different, even though you're offering basically the same service as everyone else. But I mean, obviously, be good at it. So, example for the CML, we work with clothing brands to increase email revenue by 50% in 60 days with our pure commission email systems, or we'll increase your clothing sales by X% in 90 days through our unique call view flows where we work for free. So, those are just a few examples. Again, come with your own, use your brain, or pay us money to write them for you at revgrowth.ai.com. Book a call there. That would probably be the best decision you ever make in your life. So the prospect should be able to know the exact end result, how long it will take, how you do it, and what happens if you don't in one sentence. Get to the point. Keep it quick. You don't need to write a whole declaration of independence of what you do and how you're unique and special. Like, you're probably not unique or special at all, bro. Just going to be honest. You offer email marketing. It's like, you want to come off as special and different, however, but the thing is, at the end of the day, you're doing the same thing. Again, very basic examples. So what I recommend is that you write out 10 different angle offers and then go with the most unique ones. Or just test out all of them, honestly. That's what I would do. Just set up a ton of email accounts, send 1,000 emails per day, test out 10 different offers. And then after a week or so, you can probably see which offer angles are going to work the best. Go in all of those and just keep going over the cycle over and over again. But yeah, the framework is still 100% valid. And pain point. This is honestly probably my favorite, because what I truly believe over cold email is that a pain point is a lot more motivating to take action on rather than a result, right? So, like, just think about who's going to be more likely to run 100 miles, right? The guy who's offered 10K to do it, or the guy that will have 10K stripped away from him if he doesn't. It's like if I came to you saying, hey, you're gonna lose that $10,000 if you don't run 100 miles tomorrow. you're probably going to go run that 100 miles, unless if 10K is like pennies to you. Let's say you're an average person, 10K is going to be a lot of money, right? So you're probably going to go do your best to run 100 miles. You might fail, but yeah, if someone offered you 10K to run 100 miles, you're probably like, I'm probably good. Yeah, so the guy who's going to lose the money is going to be more motivated than the guy who's offered the money. So how do we mention the pain point in our emails? So we ask a relevant question, and we mention a problem that you notice. So again, going to the welcome flow example, it's like, hey, notice a few mistakes in your welcome flow that be costing X% conversion per month. So I made you a video covering these mistakes. Can I send it to you? Again, very basic example. But yeah, the prospect's going to resonate with the pain point because things can always be better. Even if they have some of these people I reach out to generally have a very good welcome flow, so it's kind of tough. But most cases, they're going to be something wrong, right? They're going to have some sort of mistake that they can improve upon, and then it's our job to tell them like, hey, this is what you can improve upon, and we can help you with that. And then they give us money. So yeah, they're going to be interested, unless they just don't care about their business. So most of these people probably care about their business, so they're going to be interested. So case studies are going to be the most powerful part of your email. Usually is. I would say that's true still. The reason why I'm saying that is because I wrote this doc a while ago, so I'm just thinking in my head. But yeah, case studies are definitely extremely powerful. It's just if you're reaching out to, let's say you helped a beauty brand add 100K MRR with TikTok ads, and we're reaching out to beauty brands that are around like 300K MRR. That's gonna be so relevant, right? It's also gonna be something that's like it's so quantifiable to them because they're at 300K MRR. It's not impossible to add an additional 100K MRR in 90 days, right? So yeah, that's gonna be very intriguing to them. So, anyways, so here's an example, right? Hey, we recently helped this TikTok ads agency that was struggling to find leads. Just like you go from 0 to 20 sales calls per month in 45 days. So I wouldn't say that was struggling to find leads like you part. I wouldn't say that anymore. Again, this is sort of an old example, but the framework, the fundamentals are still valid. Again, this would be very intriguing to you, right? Because if you are struggling to book meetings as a TikTok ads agency, going from 0 to 20 sales calls per month sounds pretty good. It's definitely reasonable, right? Because TikTok ads is a good offer. Maybe you just don't have the cold email system set up, or you're doing cold email wrong. All these kinds of things can be relevant to the prospect. So yeah, another example, we recently worked with Supreme, a clothing brand like yours, 2x their email revenue in 67 days with our pure commission email system. So and this would be massive social proof. Supreme's one of the biggest clothing brands in the world, and we helped 2x their email revenue in 67 days. That might be too unreasonable of a result, but that, again, it's just an example. So yeah, relevance is social proof, right? So if we're targeting clothing brands, Supreme is relevant. Social proof. Social proof alone is just working with Supreme, right? But the fact that you helped them achieve a good result is part of the social proof. And then we talk about our unique mechanism to do so. So yeah. And then CTAs, let's talk about CTAs. This is a thing that a lot of people get wrong. There's 3 kinds of CTAs. There's a hard CTA, soft CTA, and a value CTA. And out of these 3, the one I basically use for every one of my clients, including myself, is the value CTA. Never use the hard CTA. I never use that anymore at all. There is some cases where it works. Like I've seen people talking about, their CTA is like, hey, mind if I give you a quick call? And then the prospect will say yes, and then they'll call their actual number, just like a phone call, a quick 5-minute phone call or whatever. That's a completely different thing. I'm able to test out in the future and come back with some results, but for now, value CTA is the one that we go with the most. Soft CTA, that still works, but I just think it's kind of mid. I think value CTA is just better version of the soft CTA essentially. But yeah, and again, I never use the hard CTA. And I think it's dead. Pitching off the call, especially if you're targeting e-commerce brands, it's just not going to work. honestly. Like to get so many of those emails per day, it's disgusting. So you need to actually be different, and one of the ways to stand out is by leading with value. And when you lead with value, that gives you an in to actually stand out and be different, right? Because if you create a document or some sort of sales asset, some sort of sales letter covering your strategy, right, and that does it in a very specific way. Anyways, um, yeah. So hard CTA is dead. These ecom brands are getting 100 emails per day. I just recommend them doing it. So at least go with the soft CTA. At least soft CTA. So here's some examples of the value CTA. So open exploring. Oh, this is just the soft CTA. Open exploring how we could implement X system for company. That's not a bad one. If you have a really good offer, then that actually works pretty well. I won't lie. Made you a video covering how to fix whatever problem they have. May I send it over? It's a really good one too. So yeah, test them out. Like test out all of these. You can even test out the hard CTA. Like go for it, bro. It might work for your specific industry, but if we're talking about ecom, I would personally not do that. Just yeah, it doesn't really work too well. So at this point, you should know you're targeting, what your offer is, what frameworks you want to use, and how to write each piece of the framework. So again, let's go over the example again. So we got niche, clothing apparel, title, CML, employee count, 25 plus, jargon, ROAS, CPAs, AOV. What's our offer? We work with clothing brands to increase attributed email revenue by 30% in 60 days with their pure commission email systems. And then what frameworks do we want to use? Let's go with these three. So intro offer case study CTA, intro case study value CTA, and then intro pain point solution CTA. So I'll write an example for each of these. Hey name, love the vibe of company names, website, and clothes. Reaching out since we work with clothing brands to increase email rev by 30% in 60 days with the pure commission email systems. We use this system to help Supreme 2x their email rev in 60 days. Open exploring further. Very, very basic email, very basic email. But that's the framework. And I'm really digging company's recent drop. Want to reach out. Recently worked with Supreme to 2x their email rev in 60 days with their pure commission email systems. Mind if I send you a video covering how a company name can implement the exact same system? So value CTA, offering a video. Hey name, came across the company's website and signed up to your newsletter. Noticed a few mistakes in your welcome flow that could be costing thousands of dollars or thousands of sales every month. Made you a video covering how to fix these mistakes. May I send it over? So again, these are examples, bro. Don't use these. They probably won't work. So come up with your own. Use this. Use the general framework. Use the general fundamentals, and create your own version. But yeah, so with all this in mind, with all this information I just gave you on how to write scripts, you should have a solid grasp on how to write a good cold email script. So just understand your ICP, create a relevant offer, use the frameworks, and you should be good. So yeah, let's dive into inbox management. This is a very important part. A lot of this is going to be sort of a guide, like a step-by-step guide on like very specific things. So I'm going to breeze through this, but again, go to the description below if you want to actually implement the exact sort of things I'm doing for my system for cold email. Check it out below. But I'm going to sort of breeze through this and not cover every single little thing. But inbox, like this is where the meetings are actually made. Honestly, you need to be able to reply fast. You need to be able to know how to reply. You need to be able to know how to objection handle, how to follow up, all these things, right? So like you're not just gonna book meetings by sending the emails. You actually have to, reply to the prospect and book them in. You can't just, send the emails and hope for the best. So we'll cover the master inbox setup, the reply templates, and how we do automated follow-up sequences. So let's start with the master inbox. This is absolutely crucial, and this is a big mistake I notice a lot of people are doing, is that they're using their email sending provider to do inbox management. The reason why we don't want to do this is because they're unreliable. And why they're unreliable? Some replies go unreported and don't appear in the inbox. And there's also a minimum 5 to 30 minute delay on replies appearing in the inbox. So that 5 to 30 minute delay can honestly impact meeting conversions pretty high. Because the thing is, you want to be able to capture the prospect right when they're in the inbox, right? So you want to be able to honestly respond in less than 5 minutes, which is what we're able to do, because we set up a master inbox inside Gmail. So our inbox manager, every time someone replies, he's immediately notified, and he's there immediately. Boom, has the reply template set, changes a few things, sends, and he's done in like 60 seconds. And that person cannot avoid the reply because that person is probably going through their morning coffee, going through their inbox, checking emails, whatever. And they're going to see that we respond to immediately, right? And they obviously showed interest, so it's like in their mind to want to learn more, and that's where we can get them on the meeting. So yeah, I'd say at least if you wait after 30 minutes, like the conversion rate to a meeting probably drops like 50%, honestly. And it's crazy. I truly believe that. Depending on how saturated the niche is, if this person is receiving 100 emails per day, they're going to forget about you after 30 minutes. So you need to be able to capture them within at least, those 30 minutes, ideally 5 minutes. So what we're going to do is reply in 5 minutes, never miss a single reply. Get immediately notified with when a prospect responds, and that's exactly how a master inbox, a makeshift master inbox is going to let us do that, and it's amazing. The day we implemented this, our meeting book rate probably 2x. Not even kidding. Because before we used to just use the instantly inbox or smart lead, whatever. So how do we set this up? So a full guide on it. I'm not going to cover this entire thing here because then it's going to take another hour. So hit the description below, check out the doc, do this step by step. But yeah, essentially we're going to set this up in Gmail, and what we're doing is we're forwarding all of our email accounts to one inbox. And we're also linking those accounts into that same inbox. So when a prospect replies to us, we're able to reply from the same inbox that they replied to within the master inbox. So we're basically creating the same thing that these email sending providers have, but we're doing it inside of Gmail to make it so we get notified immediately. So yeah, check out the doc. There's literally a whole guide. I could literally sell this as a course. It's unbelievable. But check that out. Yeah. Now we're going to cover reply templates, and this is another mistake I noticed a lot of people are doing, is that they will actually sit there and type out each email manually, which is like, what the point? You're going to say the same exact thing every single time. So it's like, why not just have a template in place that you can just click, writes it all out, change the name, company name, add a time, send it, and you're done in 30 seconds. So with 90% of the responses you're going to get, it's going to be these. So it's, I'm interested, send more info, let's book a call, I'm the wrong person to reach out to, X, and then cost. And then obviously there's going to be that 10% of the time where they ask for something very specific. They might ask for, could you send specific case studies? That could honestly be another reply template. But I guess you could categorize that under the send more info. But yeah, there's going to be situations where they ask for something very specific, and you're just going to have to manually type that out. But no issue. So these are the 5 common reply scenarios that we deal with. So I'm interested. Let's cover this. Hey, first name, thanks for your interest. Here's some more context. Here's value. So I always offer, some sort of value. Even if we're doing a soft CTA, I'll just send them something. Like send them a case study, send them some examples, send them something. They didn't even ask for it. Like if we're sending value and they didn't even ask for it, they're gonna be like, oh, thank you for that. If you like to implement, whatever you're offering for company name, available on time and date, add time zone. You also want to make sure the time zone is good. And then we always link our calendar link. So, you can also book a call here if you're not trying to wait. Let me know what works for you. So, again, just short and to the point. Yeah, don't make it too long. If you make your response super long, then they're just going to be like, dude, this guy's desperate or there's something wrong with him. Leave me alone. Then send more info. Hey, no problem. So essentially we do in-depth breakdown your offer. So in this case, you can write a little bit longer of an email, sort of just restate your offer, but do it in a more in-depth and thorough way so they can fully understand every single part of it. And then, again, you can send them some sort of value asset. I really recommend creating a value asset if you can't tell by this point. Create some sort of sales asset that you can leverage for these campaigns because it's going to help you out a lot. It really will. Then always pitch a specific time and date. Don't just say, are you available next week? Say, are you available next Monday at 3 p.m. EST to discuss further. It just makes it easy for them, right? Because then like they can check their calendar real quick, see okay that time's open. Yeah, I'm available. Instead of them having to go check their calendar, be like, oh well, I'm available on this. It just adds more friction. You want to make this as frictionless as possible. That's the whole goal. And then add a calendar link. Let me know when we go for there. Sort of a small CTA, but yeah, and even with this case, you can make the tone a little bit more serious because they're not necessarily fully interested. I mean, they might be. They might say they're interested. They might just be like, "Hey, I'm interested. Send more info, please." But if someone says like, "Hey, send more info," I mean, they are technically interested, but they're sort of on the fence, right? So you want to be able to like reciprocate the energy that the prospect has. That's something no one talks about because at the end of the day, this is sales, right? When you're talking to a person, you can tell their mood, their energy, all that stuff. It's sort of people type out their energy in a way. So you kind of want to be able to reciprocate that. It's a very specific thing, but I'm telling you, it actually matters. It matters a little bit at least. Let's make a call. I mean, this is so basic. If you fumble this, then that's tough, man. But basically, hey, sounds great. Available on time and date. Again, very specific. Also, feel free to book a time here as well. Looking forward to speaking with you. Make sure you say like looking forward to speak with you because that kind of hooks them in, right? It's like I'm looking. You said you want to call, right? Like I'm looking forward to speaking to you. I'm not saying oh, let me know what works for you. It's like we're going to speak. Like I'm looking forward to speaking with you because I know we're going to have a talk. That's why I use that specific language. And yeah, this obviously best case scenario, very simple. Very, very unlikely to fumble this because it's just they want to book a call. So, and this is a specific one. I didn't even mention this, but meeting request ghosted. So let's say someone specifically said, "Hey, let's book a call," but then they just go ghost out nowhere, which happens, right? Literally just book them in, like not even kidding, just book them in. Just hey, place a few minutes on 3 to 4 days out. So give them some time, right? You don't want to book them in for tomorrow or like the same day to discuss us. If you can't make it, no worries. Just wanted to get some time on the calendar. As you said, you were interested in speaking, right? That's why I say this here. It's like looking forward to speaking to you because we're going to speak, right? You said we're going to speak, and then you come back here. We say, as you said, you were interested in speaking. We're hooking them in that. I forgot what the sales terminology is called, but it's like I forgot what it's called. But anyways, um, and let me know if you'd like to reschedule. Otherwise, speak then. So thing is, even if they have to reschedule, it's better than them have not booked a meeting in the first place because a lot of times they will have to reschedule, but also a lot of time that time works for them because people aren't. I mean, these people have 15 minutes to spare usually. Um, so yeah, just force book them in, literally. But make sure they said that they were interested in speaking in a meeting, or else if they just say they're interested and you force book them in, then that's kind of pushing it. That's kind of pushing it. So yeah, make sure um, they say they're interested in the first place, and then I'm wrong person, reach out to X person in the company. So what we do in this case is say, hey, this is a new person, right? Hey, this is the person we're reaching out to. So Mr. X, first contact, the person that we initially contacted, told me to contact you regarding your offer. Just a quick intro. Honestly, in this, oh yeah, we do X, and then I'll just sort of do like the previous email body. So we could say, hey, like the previous email body, we could say it was a case study. Like we recently helped Supreme 2x their email revenue, whatever, and have a CTA. And then you could also add a Calendly link here because this is not a mass email, so you can add a link to it. Won't do any harm. But yeah, these referral touch points can have a pretty high conversion rate compared to a cold outreach. So definitely recommend going the extra step doing that. Cost. Give me a second here. All right, so cost. So this is the best objection handling for cost email I've used. Like this kind of went viral on Twitter when I posted this because I had a really good. Oh yeah, it was this. But yeah, so this is pretty tried and true. It might get saturated because so many people are copying it because it works so well. But essentially, they ask like, "Hey, what's the cost? How much does it cost? What's your pricing plans? Whatever." You're like, "Hey, first name pricing varies. We typically do X." So when I say X, we typically do. Don't say the exact price. Don't say any numbers. Say, we do retainer plus rev share. We do a flat retainer. We do performance. We do pay per call. can't give you a specific number because it depends on why scenario. So just come up with some sort of scenario. Let's say if it's email marketing, it's like depends on the size of your email list or your revenue, or like for TikToks, it depends on how many ad creatives you want per month, things like that. We can speak for 7 to 9 minutes about this briefly if you want. If you wouldn't be opposed to it, if you're open to it, I'll send over an invite. If not, no worries. So notice the CTA, right? It's very nonchalant. It's like, you know what? If we don't book a call, no worries. Like I don't even care. I have a pipeline filled with 20 other leads that are looking to work with me. Show them that you have abundance, right? A pipeline, and that if they're not interested, you don't care because you have the leverage, right? You're the one that's if they work with you, you're helping them. It's a pleasure for you to be in their presence, essentially. But yeah, so this is an example. You can check out the doc to see the specific example. I'm not going to zoom in on that. But yeah, so once you have these reply templates, you can fill out each section. Create your own version of these, and yeah, once you create the master inbox inside Gmail, you can actually add these templates to the Gmail, and you'll have them on deck immediately. So again, the doc you can see it here. But now, the last thing we'll talk about is automated subsequence. I know it's a long video, but I'm covering everything. So subsequence, what is the subsequence? It's automated follow-up essentially for specific scenarios. So we got the interested subsequence, we got meeting request, we got out of office, we got pre-call. And this can all be automated smartly. So again, go to smartly.ai.com, cancel the subscription of the other email sending software you're using, and enable the subscription for smartly.ai, and then switch over your accounts to smartly.ai. I recommend it. I'm not an affiliate. I don't have an affiliate link. If Mr. Smartly guy watches this, can we get an affiliate going, please? I appreciate that. So let's cover the interested subsequence first. So yeah, you can also set this up in Calendly. I'll cover that too. We want to follow up. If they say they're interested, we want to follow up until they say yes, or they tell us to fuck off. Because they said they're interested, right? So we're going to continue to follow up because they said they are interested. They are interested, right? We're going to keep them to their word. So honestly, this is a very long video, so I'm not going to cover the exact scripts. You can come through here and do it, but essentially for the interested subsequence, you can make it as long as you want. You can make it 1,000 emails if you wanted to, honestly, but that might take a few years to complete. So I typically do like 10 automated follow-ups and then have my inbox manager do manual follow-up after that, or just let the lead go. Depends how high leverage the lead is. If it's like a kind of crappy lead, then we'll just let it go. But if it's a good lead, then we're going to continue to follow up with them. Then we got meeting request subsequence. Again, you can check this out here. We typically do like after the first email is 2 days, then 4 days, and 7 days. So yeah, it's very similar to the interested subsequence, but this is one of the really another really important one is out of office, right? Because it's been the summertime, everyone's out in Ibiza, partying, not doing any work, having a good time. So they're out of office, right? So we want to be able to still capture these leads because we don't want to just let these leads go, because once their automated reply comes through, then they're dropped out of the main sequence, and they're gone. So we want to make sure that we put them back into the sequence with the out of office sequence. And essentially, all this really is so in Smartly you can set up a delay, right? And we want to typically do a 21-day delay, because I would say on average that's like the time they would actually be back before you receive another automated reply. So how to set this up? You set that 21-day delay, and honestly, you want to just copy and paste the same exact email sequence you built for the cold email sequence, and then just add this bit of personalization, right? Where it's like, hey, I saw you're back in office. Tried reaching out a few weeks ago. Adds a bit of personalization, because most people don't reach out to these out of office leads again once they say they're out of office, right? So yeah, definitely set this up. You can even test out hard CTAs, because not many people are hitting these people up with that out of office angle. And then pre-call, you can set this up inside Calendly. what I recommend is this setup. So like 2 days prior, 24 hours prior, 2 hours prior, and then the confirmation email when they book the meeting. You want to send them a VSL sales letter, case studies, any sales assets. You want to send those through to get them even more warm. But yeah, so those are basically all of the subsequences, and um, yeah, just make sure you do that. But anyway, that's a wrap. I know it's a super long video. I did not expect it to be this long, but I like to ramble and make sure I'm giving the most value possible. So, anyways, if you follow this step by step, I don't care what your offer is, you're gonna book at least 5 to 20 meetings per month, even if you have zero experience. So definitely check out the doc, take it for yourself. It's basically a little course, and implement everything I say in this, and you're gonna book meetings. So, but if you are an agency or a B2B business owner and you are at above 50K MRR, so 50K plus, and you're looking to implement these exact systems, we obviously have a lot more systems on the back end. This is just the cold email system. We actually have SDRs. We do um, paid ads as well. So if you're looking to implement these outbound systems for your business to scale and to add upwards of 1 million ARR in the next 6 to 12 months, check our website out at revgrowth.ai, and you watch our case studies. Check out the website. We're building a VSL right now. Go book a call with boy Christian, and we'll chat, see if it makes sense to partner, and get some more meetings on your calendar, some more clients in your pipeline, and some more money in your bank account. That is the end goal. So, come here, book a call. I'll have a description in the link if you just want to go book a call now. Hit that link, book a call, and we'll talk. So thank you for watching this video. If you want to find me somewhere else, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at a cold email. Chris. I'm most active on Twitter. That's kind of where I started all this stuff. So yeah, follow me there. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it valuable. If you did, be sure to drop a like and subscribe and comment. Say something nice, or you can say something mean if you want. I don't care. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Cheers.